Okay, welcome to part 2. Now, as I was mentioning, there's a lot of people that are upset about what's happening to a certain character, but like I said, you listen to all the examples I used in part 1, from Sailor Moon, to Ruby Moon character, and what happened to her, to Jean Grey, to even to the Invisible Woman in the Fantastic Four, turning her into Malice, Cammy in the second season of the animated season of Street Fighter back in the mid-90s on the USA Network. You know, again, the list just goes on and on. Heck, even for one episode, characters have been known to do that. You take a look at Buzz Lightyear, Star Command. You want to talk about something close to robotization? You talk about something close to robotization. How about what happened in an episode to Mira Nova and can't even think of his name right now. That big dinosaur I can't think of his name. But think about what happened to Mira Nova and that Booster character. Yeah, that's his name, Booster. Think about what happened to them in that one episode. I can't think about it, but it was with Wired Wolf. It was like a sequel to the Wired Wolf, the original Wired Wolf episode. It was sort of a sequel. Think about what happened to them. That got turned into Wild Wolves. And they were able to do things that they couldn't do if they were still normal. Now you might think, watching it for the first time, you think to yourself, oh my God, they could be permanently like this. But then at the end, they're not. See what I'm saying? I mean, even Sonic SatAM has proven that. Sonic SatAM has done that. I remember, and I've gone on record in saying this, in my retrospective of the cartoon, I said that the first episode that I saw, Supersonic, was so well written that you would think that for the whole season, Sally and Bunny were going to remain brainwashed and on Robotnik's side. That's how good things were written. That's how good and believable it was, but then we see that it was only temporary. Now, I'm not saying that this head writer is a good head writer. I mean, he is a good head writer, but there are sometimes he doesn't really focus. It's like he's got his mind on different tasks, that he's not focusing on one task at a time. But again, his track record has proven that anytime he turns a very popular character, whether it's an official game character or an official character as part of the corporation, part of the game corporation that created said game character and franchise, it's only temporary. I mean, you go back to even before this head writer came on board to the previous head writer, and for one issue, issue 29, this same character that's in this situation now was roboticized, and it was temporary. Even the main hero himself, the main mascot of this franchise, in a few issues, in one 48-page special issue, was roboticized. You see what I'm getting at, folks? It was only temporary, right? And with this current head writer's track record, it is temporary. Now, I will admit that I've been wrong. I mean, when he did what he did with a certain Fiona character, I thought it was only temporary, and it's been about 58 issues since that happened. What I'm saying, folks, is that sometimes, yeah, I could be. What I'm saying, folks, is I'm not trying to say that I'm going to be right, or anybody else that agrees with me is going to be right. But I'm just saying the way his track record is when it comes to very popular characters, turning them evil, whether it's like I say, an official game character or just a character that's officially part of the franchise, it's always temporary. Yeah, it may seem like it's going to last forever, but you know, that's all part of it. Now, some of us may not like what he's done. Some of us may say that the whole Genesis thing was nothing but filler, which it probably was. Heck, I've even gone on record and said, you know, Genesis could have been easily done as a spin-off comic, as a spin-off book, because it was just celebrating the anniversary. But since the head writer wrote it in to be sort of like part of the continuity, then, well, there you go. I mean, but there are some out there that say, hey, you can even look, you can, I mean, there are some out there that say, hey, you can read 225, and then when you get ready to read 230, it's like you're not missing anything. 229 is not, Genesis is nothing but filth in the eyes of some. But we don't know that. We don't know if it's filth. And there are some out there, like I mentioned at the end of part 1, that feel that what's going to happen with a certain character is just going to lead to possibly the shipping of another coupling, the shipping of another romance they don't want to see. Even though the head writer has gone out and said, that's not going to happen, that's not possible, that's not why this is happening, blah, blah, blah. Throwing out all different kinds of answers. The truth is, everybody has their opinions. Some have said that some don't understand what's going on. Some say that others are talking out of their mouth, blah, blah, blah. The truth is, folks, everybody has a right to say what they want to say. And if they want to say that if they want to come out and say that they feel it's permanent, the situation that's going to happen to this character is permanent, then that's their right. If some want to say, like myself, that they feel it's going to be temporary, that's their right. If some want to say that this is leading towards nothing more than more romantic situations between the main hero and this character, that's their right. If some feel as though, if some want to believe and feel that this is just a way of saying, hey, he just wants to put these two together because that's the way this corporation wants it, that's his right. That's their right. You know, that's their right to say that. The truth is, folks, everybody's voices have their own opinions. But like I said, I believe no matter how we feel about it, this situation is only temporary. This head writer's track record proves it. And you don't believe me, go back and look at those issues. But honestly, that's all I'm going to say, folks, in this two-parter. It may have not made some sense to you guys, but the truth is, as a longtime fan, I think it makes a lot of sense. And if I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. I was wrong about the Fiona deal, but who knows? So, I don't know what else to say, folks. I mean, those that go on this head writer's message board, sometimes some of them will stay despite how they feel about the guy and say what they say about him and his writing style and his stories and criticize him. You know, some of them may stay, but some of them, like myself, you know, will end up being tossed out because maybe we're asking too many questions, like you know, when's this going to happen, or is this going to happen? And I remember, in closing, here's something I want to tell you in closing. I can recall that many times, there have been a few times that I've been on this message board before I got banned permanently, that I have asked him, is this going to happen, or is that going to happen? And this head writer would basically say, please, you know, I can't say that, or please don't ask that, or I don't really know. I can't say, and all that. He would give me all sorts of different answers. And sometimes when he would tell me, I can't say, and, you know, he would tell me, please don't ask that question, or I don't want to go there kind of deal. 55 to 75% of the time, I would be right about what was going to happen. And I'm not the only one. I've seen others that have been that way too. And like me, they've been taken off the board. And again, I will say, those that do the same thing right now that are on his board, they're lucky not to be banned. But again, they just say this stuff to him, not to criticize him, but because they're giving their own opinions, which they have a right to. So, that's all I'm going to say. Comment down below if you like, and I'll talk to you all later.